My brother accidentally smashed my $9,500 motorcycle with a sledgehammer because I refused to cover his $21,000. Should have helped me, he said. Dad shrugged. You pushed him too far. I didn't argue. That evening, I canceled the rent support I had been paying for him and removed my name from his lease. But the real shock came the next morning. My 2022 Ducati Panigale wasn't just a bike. I spent 3 years working 80-hour weeks to pay off every cent of that 9,500 machine. It was my escape, my pride. Yesterday, my younger brother, Julian, smashed it into a pile of twisted aluminum and shattered carbon fiber with a 8-pound sledgehammer. Why? Because I refused to pay off his $21,000 credit card debt. Julian is 24, chronically unemployed, and living high on money he doesn't have. For the past year, I quietly paid his odd $200 monthly rent so he wouldn't end up on the street. I didn't brag about it. I didn't throw it in his face. I just wanted my brother to get on his feet. Then came the demand. He walked into my apartment, threw his bank statements on my counter, and told me to transfer him 21 grand. I told him no, firmly. I was already covering his housing. I wasn't liquidating my savings to bail out his reckless gambling and luxury clothes. He didn't scream. He just stared at me with his creepy, empty smirk. You'll regret that, man, he whispered. 10 minutes later, I heard the sound of breaking metal coming from the driveway. I ran outside. Julian was standing over my Ducati, swinging a sledgehammer right into the engine block. The headlight was obliterated. The tank was caved in. Gas was leaking onto the pavement. Should have helped me, Julian said, dropping the hammer. He wiped his sweat and walked away like he had just mowed the lawn. My chest went completely numb. I didn't scream. I didn't hit him. My heart just turned into a block of ice. I called our dad immediately, assuming he would be horrified. I sent him photos of the obliterated bike. Dad didn't even yell. He just sighed heavily through the phone. Look, son, you pushed him too far. You have money and he's drowning. You backing him into a corner made him snap. You're the big brother. You should have helped him. He destroyed my bike, Dad, I said, my voice deadpan. It's just metal, Dad replied. Family is forever. Don't press charges. Work it out. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I realized right then that arguing with enablers is a waste of oxygen. Okay, I said quietly and hung up. That evening, I didn't waste time crying. I went straight to my laptop. First, I canceled the recurring automatic transfer for Julian's rent support. Second, I called his landlord. My name was legally listed as the primary lease guarantor and cosigner. I informed the landlord that I was revoking my guarantee, immediately due to criminal property damage, providing a copy of the police report I had silently filed an hour prior. Because Julian had zero income and no cosigner anymore, the landlord exercised the lease's immediate breach clause. Julian was officially being evicted within 48 hours. I slept like a baby. Cold, dark, uninterrupted sleep. But the real shock came the next morning at 7 a.m. My phone exploded with frantic calls from my dad. I answered on the 10th ring. What did you do? Dad screamed, his voice cracking. Julian just got arrested. I filed a police report for felony vandalism, I said calmly. I told you I was handling it. No, you don't understand, Dad roared. The police didn't just arrest him for the bike. When they came to his apartment to pick him up for your report, they searched his place. I sat up in bed. And he was storing stolen identity documents and forged checks in his closet, Dad sobbed. He wasn't just in credit card debt. He was running an identity theft ring using family records. He used my social security number to take out a $40,000 loan. The silence on my end was deafening. My brother didn't smash my bike because he was desperate. He smashed it because he was an arrogant criminal who thought he was untouchable under the umbrella of family. Because I removed my name from his lease. The police had full legal cause to enter the premises with the landlord present, to serve the notice and execute the arrest warrant for the felony property damage. They walked right past the open closet door and saw boxes of stolen mail, fake IDs, and my dad's bank statement sitting on the desk. 10 minutes later, Dad called back, completely broken. Please tell me you can drop the charges. If you drop the bike charges, maybe his lawyer can fight the rest. I looked out my window at the empty spot in the driveway where my Ducati used to sit. Dad, I said softly, matching the exact words he gave me yesterday. You pushed me too far. Family doesn't destroy family. Good luck. I hung up the phone, blocked both of their numbers, and brewed a fresh cup of coffee. My bike is gone, but the illusion of my toxic family went down with it. And for the first time in my life, I feel entirely free.